business. What is up? My name is Farah, Dr. Laurent. Welcome to the Nursing Dose. With your host, of course, me. I am basically the host of the Nurses Making Business Moves Conference and a nurse career coach for new graduate nurses. So, for any students out there, any new graduates that are trying to get into residency programs or trying to get into a specialty area, I want you to know it is possible. I've helped over 200 nurses like yourself right out of school and sometimes while still in nursing school secure offers in ICU, ED, labor and delivery, NICU, psych, you name it, you can get there. If you want to be strategic, take action, sign up for my free webinar. It's tomorrow, Thursday at 1 p.m. The link is in the bio, or you can go to newnursejob.com to get signed up. But what I want to talk to you guys about today, and this is my second time going live, I'm going to call myself the live queen for real, though. Today I want to talk to you about business, right? Nurses making business moves, and really the transformations and the stories that have happened since I've started this whole movement, this conference, and these events that I'm doing. Why am I doing these events and conferences? It's to create community, right? Create confidence in nurses to understand that there is more to nursing and healthcare than just the traditional roles. And there are other roles such as entrepreneurship. I want them to know also that you have choices. You can still, if you want, work part-time or per diem and still build a business where you're creating wealth for yourself and on your own terms. You have flexibility and the freedom to have time off to spend with your family, your kids, to travel, whatever it is that you want to do, right? So, like I said, for those who don't know me, you're just joining me, maybe you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe if you're on YouTube and give me a follow on all the other platforms. And if you want to direct message me, the best platform to message me is on LinkedIn. And also to put it out there, I am also still, I still have tables available if you want to be an exhibitor at the conference, and it's going to be March 6th and 7th in Tampa. And also opportunity for sponsorship. So if you're a business out there, whether you're a small business, a bigger business, whatever it is, you can have your brand, your business in front of healthcare professionals and other entrepreneurs. So I encourage you to look at that. You can go to nursesmakingbusinessmoves.com. And that is the official website, nursesmakingbusinessmoves.com. You can actually also get your tickets there. Get your tickets before they sell out. So again, like I said, for those who don't know me, I've been a nurse for 20 years, started my career out in Canada. Shout out to any Canadians watching. Went to school in Ontario. Nursing school was, not that easy, but got through it. And I always wanted to be an emergency nurse. But of course, my story is I had a clinical instructor who was super cool. She was an ER nurse. And I was like, that's the type of nurse I want to be. I used to watch life trauma in the ER. And I'm like, I want to be an ER nurse. And then my last year, I had an instructor that was not so nice and actually laughed in my face when I told her I wanted to be an ER nurse. And that's where my story kind of pivoted and started, right? I've always been someone who doesn't really take no for an answer. I don't really listen to, I guess people in authority telling me what I can and can't do, and people putting limits on me. I'm not about that. If you tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna show you how I can get it done. So of course, not just because of her, but I also had that conviction that I knew I belonged in the ER. And that was a place for me. I loved the community, and I got hired into the ER. And fast forward, that's when I promised myself that I would go back to school, become an educator, become a clinical instructor so I could be a cool educator and really help guide this next generation of nurses. And that's truly my passion and what I love to do. I was doing it for a long time for free, mentoring and doing all these things, but it got to be a lot. So I turned it into a business model. So currently, I do only take very few one on one clients. And actually, I'm going to end that very soon. And I'm just taking new graduate nurses in a group setting. So I've done that, and I've held multiple leadership roles in education, uh, from director of nursing all the way up to associate dean and, all those things. But along the way, there's a lot of roadblocks. I got laid off a couple times because of my advocacy and, different reasons. So I decided I want to make an impact in a different way and become a nurse entrepreneur. So that's what I did. I started with nurse career coaching. And then so many nurses started coming to me and saying, hey, how did you start your nurse career coaching business? Did you have to get certified? Did you go to, did you go back to school? How did you do it? And really, it was just self-taught. Entrepreneurship, a lot of times, you kind of get pushed into it, or you just have like specific traits, such as, you're a good problem solver, you're very adaptable, and you're a visionary. You see things in the marketplace that need solving. You take a problem and maybe the problem like irritates you and you want to solve it, and you create a solution around that. And that's what I did. And that's what really entrepreneurship is. And then looking at the market to see what is the gap, what's out there that I can actually fix or make better, more efficient. And then you create problems through this innovation, creativity, right? So that's what you do. And there's a big creative piece tied to it that, I think entrepreneurs love. And it's constant creation. Like, you're creating new things and you're constantly improving it. And it's exciting because you get to generate income whenever you want. You create offers, and then you're helping a bigger group of individuals, whatever that target audience is. For me, it was new graduate nurses. So many nurses kept coming to me, asking me how I started, how I did the business. And like I said, it was self-taught. I would read countless books, listen to podcasts, follow other marketers, people that are, still crushing it in the game, like Daniel Priestley, Alex and Layla Hermosi, Cody Sanchez, all these people. And then I wrote a book. And the book is Nurses Making Money Moves, a Nurse's Guide to Starting a Business. And it's an actual workbook where you can write in it. And it's just really the fundamentals of business and the fundamentals of how to start a business if you are a nurse, right? But again, it's applicable to anybody, but of course it's geared towards nurses because I'm a nurse and I started a business, right? So in there, I laid it out of how you can register your business, marketing, a little bit of sales, social media content, all those things. Because when you're starting, you're really doing it alone until you grow and understand the dynamics of business and really, entrepreneurship. So today, I wanted to talk to you about this journey, right? So from this book, I started getting more speaking engagements, getting invited to speak on, these big national stages, talking about entrepreneurship. And then one of my favorite topics, branding, and of course, nurse entrepreneurship, right? And social media content creation and marketing. Love all those topics. And in fact, I'm like obsessed. So a lot of nurses don't understand these concepts. And a lot of nurses want to start businesses, be a consultant, be a coach, but they have no clue. And I'm not saying I'm a full-on expert. And if someone tells you that, really, you'll never be an expert in every area, right? But you need to know business fundamentals in order for you to be successful at business. So that's why I created the conference. Last year it was called Nurses Making Business Moves. Money Moves off the book. And then I just, changed it up a bit. Some people were upset, but, they'll get over it. I still use the slogan, Nurses Making Money Moves. But I just thought it was a better fit to go with nurses making business moves, especially also for like sponsorship purposes and things like that, right? And it's also trademarked now. So those are some things. There's, a lot of legal aspects to business and all the things. So that's why I wanted to talk to you about this conference. So literally, the people who attended, there were students, there were nurse practitioners, nurse executives, nurse educators, and then people outside of the nursing field, people in finance, operations, marketing, pitching, sales, people from all over. And that's what I aim to do. That's really the mission of this conference, is to get not only nurses, but in other industries together to blend so that you can have a thorough understanding of what business is and how to move from employee to entrepreneur, or doing it at the same time, and understand other people's stories, their struggles, so that you can save time. All right. So, like I said, if you're interested and you're like, ooh, this sounds really cool, like this conference, there's nothing like it out there, trust and believe, this is the only conference that is built this way. It is nurses and other experts in business coming together, no gatekeeping, so you can get the information that you need. Okay. And nurses last year literally left from feeling stuck to feeling inspired, and not just inspired, but inspired to take action. Because part of my goal is not to just put on a super cool and fun event and then after the fact, there's no transformation. No, the transformation starts, first of all, when you make the decision to go there and be in the room, because the connections and relationships that you make are going to be literally for a lifetime. There are people that have become close friends, partners, collaborators. People have found their clients there, going on each other's podcasts. The transformation was unreal. The energy was like none other. Okay. And again, it was on International Women's Day. And again, it's on International Women's Day weekend. I'm very strategic about this because I really care about empowering women in business. And of course, particularly nurses, and the whole slew of it, right? Diverse female entrepreneurs is important to me to support. And this is what this conference is about. And don't get me wrong, yes, everybody's welcome. I don't want anybody to like getting ideas, right? But it is what it is. And it's for education and wealth building and inspiring people to take action. So if you want to get your tickets, you can get your tickets at nursesmakingbusinessmoves.com. So let me tell you some quick wins and stories and transformations from the past clients. So I had one particular individual, shout out to her. I won't say her name because I'm awaiting on an actual testimonial, like a video testimonial from her. And if she's watching this, she knows who she is. So please bring me that video testimonial so I can share it with the world. Okay. So she came, and after the conference, she really took action. All the things that were discussed at that conference, from marketing to sales to social media content, all the things she's been doing. And I've just seen her blossom. She's actually written a book. She's become a coach, and she is crushing it, right? And that's just for coming just that weekend. And it looks like it literally has transformed her life. She looks like she's happy with more purpose. Not saying that she wasn't happy before, but she just like looks like she's having a blast doing what she really wants, right? So I can't wait to share her testimonial. Another client that I worked with personally and came to one of my business masterminds, again, I'm not saying any names, but you can look at some of my testimonials on LinkedIn. You'll see some written testimonials, and then you'll also see it on the website at Nurses Making Business Moves. And then you'll also see some videos of testimonials of attendees that came last year. So this particular client that I'm thinking has come, went to one of my Nurses Making Business Moves retreats. And this was a weekend retreat in Clearwater Beach Again, same concepts with mindset, marketing, content creation, all the things about business. And within a few months, she was already creating content, had a clear goal on how she was going to reach her income goals. And within a few months of her coming, she was able to quit her full-time job, not only replace her income, but make more than what she was making. If that's not massive transformation, I don't know what is, right? So I was so happy for her that she was able to quit her job and go do this full time. And it was in a short time frame. But this is what I'm saying. This is the transformation that happens when you take action, when you invest in yourself, and you are in community with other people, and that you hire a coach. Like, so, I'm a coach for new grads, and I'm also a coach for aspiring business owners that are nurses and nurse entrepreneurs. Again, and I focus more on the bigger vision, bigger strategy, marketing, how to do sales, and a lot of visibility. I actually have a brand model, which I just recently created a diagram visual for. And I'm not going to get into too much of that, but this is my brand model that I created, and I'm going to share on social very soon. But at the center of it, it's very important to build a brand, and that's one of the biggest things I preach about, building a personal brand. So at the center, it's trust, right? When people trust you, they will do business with you, or they will hire you, promote you, whatever the case is, partner up with you. It all starts with building trust and building relationships, right? But in order for you to do that, there are 3 pillars that are very important, and that's part of my brand model, right? One of them is visibility. The other one is credibility, and the other one is value, right? So you can't have one without the other. So this is why when I teach about branding, visibility is number 1. Nurses are afraid sometimes to be visible on social media, to be visible in person, meaning at events, and to talk about their business or talk about their ideas. But you have to be visible. Creating content, number 1, that in itself is like $1 million, $1 billion industry to be like content creator, right? If you become a brand ambassador or you have brand partnerships, you can make a ton of money with that as well, right? But even just generally talking, what you want to do is create a personal brand before you even launch your business. I see a lot of nurses that are like, oh, I'm just going to write a book. And they're not very strategic about it. They're not talking about their journey throughout writing the book and why they're writing it. And then they put it out there and people are like, oh, I didn't even know you wrote a book, right? Because it starts from before the journey. People want to see a little bit into your life. I'm not saying, put all your business out there and show privacy, like private things, but they just want to see a little bit of your values, the lifestyle, the purpose, and the direction that you want to take and the impact you want to make, right? So building brand is imperative for business. So that was my topic that I spoke on last year, and I'll be speaking about it again. And I will share that specific model at the conference and break down how I've built my brand over the years and how I continue to build my personal brand. So as I mentioned, visibility is key and credibility is key. Yes, nurses are the most trusted profession, but you also need to show credibility in other ways, right? Whether it's publications, speaking at conferences, or even something like this. I'm speaking live on multiple platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and I'm live. It's not AI. This is me. And I show up consistently every single week. And I even promised that I would show up every week for the next few days, right? All the way up to Valentine's Day. Well, actually, I'll be in DC around that time, but pretty much in the next 10 to 14 days, I will be live every day creating content. I do that every week. I've been doing that for 4.5 years. And that is the way that I've built my brand. So people feel like they know me when they meet me in person. They're like, oh, yeah, Farah, you're on LinkedIn all the time. I see you. I hear your content. Like, I just messaged somebody on LinkedIn, and she's like, yeah, you're like the LinkedIn, you're always on LinkedIn lives and things like that, right? So you have to have that visibility, that credibility, and always be giving value to people. So this is what this conference is. It teaches you as a nurse the branding aspects, the visibility aspect, and how to create value for people. And this could be creating value at work as well. Like, let's say you don't want to open up an official business, but you want to learn how to position yourself for success. Maybe you're applying to leadership roles or education roles, but you can't seem to get them. It's all about branding and positioning and also pitching. So, this is why this conference is not just for nurses who want to start businesses or who want to grow their businesses. It's also for the nursing student, for the new graduate nurse, any nurse at any level. And of course, for the entrepreneur that wants to grow and scale their business. There's something for everyone, right? Another story. So I shared the story about the nurse that literally made so much with her business model that she quit her job. Another nurse became a coach, wrote a book, and is creating content. I had another nurse that read my book, this book, Nurses Making Money Moves. And just from reading my book, she was able to register her business and open up an LLC and start her business. Okay. And she actually has a testimonial as well on LinkedIn, right? So these are the things that are happening. I also have another nurse who came to the conference, and she's a podcaster. And since the conference, she's literally almost interviewed like almost all of the attendees. And just the other day, I saw her interview someone again. So she's creating podcast episodes. Those guests are being featured on her podcast. So it's like a win-win situation. These are the lasting effects of this community and this movement that is happening, the Nurses Making Business Moves movement. The other thing I noticed in that room, I individually reached out to, I would say 90% of the people in that room, either personally, through a DM, a phone call. So I was very intentional about creating this community. And you could feel it, the energy. People were really cared about each other. They were giving each other information because we want to see each other win. It's not about scarcity mindset and like, hey, like competition or whatever like that. It's nothing like that. So those are some wins that really stand out from the last conference. There are also nurses who, one particular nurse out of Texas, again, I'm not going to say who, but eventually if I can get that video for you guys, I will put it out there so you can see and have it come from her own mouth and words, her testimony. She opened up her own practice. So, that's major, and it takes a lot to do that. And she actually did work with one of the speakers who was an expert in the area that she wanted to do, right? So it's not even just beneficial for the attendees. Speakers walked away with clients as well because, they were experts in those fields. So, there was a lot of value for everybody that attended, even the virtual attendees that came. This year, I don't plan on having virtual live stream because it was a lot to coordinate and there's a lot of logistics around it. But again, it's happening in Tampa, Florida, March 6th and 7th. Tickets are going fast, so you don't want to miss out. You want to get your tickets before they sell out. You can go to nursesmakingbusinessmoves.com to secure your ticket. You only have until Valentine's Day, and then that's it. Tickets will be not be sold anymore if there are tickets left. So you definitely want to get your ticket now. If you are interested in coming to the conference, but you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to come alone, listen, everybody's friendly there. You don't have to worry about anything. I'm also going to have a Zoom session, two Zoom sessions before the conference. So we'll do like a meet and greet. So you won't feel like you're just going alone, and you'll meet people in the chat and the Zoom and everything like that. So we're going to do that before and after the conference too. But I have a special offer if you want to come with your bestie. So I did this last year too. You have a best friend or somebody that you want to come along with. And again, they don't have to be a nurse. You don't have to be a nurse to attend. It could be anybody, somebody in real estate, marketing, finance, whatever. As long as you're business minded and you want to come and learn and be in community, this is the conference for you. So bring a friend. And if you want to bring a friend, put business bestie in the chat and make sure that you're connected with me, but put it on LinkedIn. If you happen to be on TikTok or any other platforms, just message me directly, DM me on LinkedIn and put business bestie and say that I want the link, and I will give you the specific link. And this link is reserved for people, like I said, that have a friend and you want to buy your tickets at the same time. You will get a special rate and a link for that. Okay. And again, it's a limited amount of time. So direct message me on LinkedIn and message me business bestie to get your link. All right. So again, you don't want to miss out because when tickets are sold out, that's it. And the last day to purchase, if tickets are still left, is Valentine's Day. And that's an easy day to remember, right? February 14th. So definitely check it out. Okay. What else did I want to share with you guys? There's a whole list here. And I also want to tell you, people are coming from Canada, Australia, the UK, and all over the US. Okay. So it's pretty much international. All right. So I'm going to share with you also 5 big transformations that happened after the conference, right? Many nurses messaged me and said that they went from confused and feeling stuck to gaining clarity and knowing what to do for their next move. Because so many nurses right now are struggling from fear, anxiety, not knowing what to do. And this conference will bring you clarity. Okay. So it'll take you from feeling stuck and confused, doing the same thing, being in the same environment, coming to Tampa, just being in Tampa alone, and it's warm weather and it's nice. And being in that community, in that space with everybody and that energy, hearing all the amazing things that people are doing, and also just the content from the speakers and everything will definitely inspire you to get clear so that you can know what to do next and have a step-by-step way on how to do that. Okay. Number 2, many nurses reached out to me and said, thank you so much. They understood the value of really being visible and being more confident and showing up online. As I mentioned, many people now, after coming to the conference, are way more comfortable creating content. In fact, let me tell you this story. I forgot to tell you. I'm not going to say who, but her content went viral on LinkedIn. And the last time that I checked, she did a video that had, I believe, 53 reposts. I've been creating content on LinkedIn for 4 years and going live every single week. I've never had a piece of content be reposted 53 times, and it could be more now. And this is the power of consistency, putting your message out there and showing up on video. She also is a coach, a wellness coach. And I gave her a strategy, like a DM strategy and how to connect with people and everything like that. so that, if anybody's interested to work with her, she could literally just jump on a call and see how she can help them, right? So going from overthinking to just understanding the power of being visible and being consistent in content creation. Okay. And just this, it doesn't have to be perfect. People are obsessed with like, well, I don't have the right mic or the right lighting. It's just all excuses and fear. Just do it and post the content because someone needs it. Okay. Let me know if anybody out there is watching because I don't see any comments or questions. I see TikTok is definitely in the house and pretty active in here. But let me know if you have any comments, questions. Let me know if this is valuable for you. And if you happen to be watching the replay, particularly on LinkedIn and I think YouTube as well, you can drop any comments or questions that you have, and then I'll go back and answer them. Okay. So, number two, like I said, the transformation was once you understand your impact and your purpose. So, for me, it's for new graduate nurses. I've always had that passion to help them because I'm literally helping my younger self, right? Um, And it's creating content, it goes way beyond me. It's because I know the message is gonna help, someone, so I put the message out there, okay? So showing up on LinkedIn, particularly LinkedIn and even all the platforms, is so powerful. LinkedIn particularly is so powerful for any business to be on LinkedIn, whether you're business to consumer or business to business, B2B. LinkedIn is definitely should be part of your content strategy. Okay. And then the second platform, if you want to pick a second platform, I just say pick the platform where most of your people hang out. For me, I realized it was TikTok. And I've been sleeping on TikTok and I should have been on TikTok a lot sooner. But here I am now, right, on TikTok. A lot of new nurses are on TikTok. So I love that platform. Um, but of course, I'm streaming live right now on multiple platforms, and people are like so afraid to go live. And I'm like, it's not that serious. Once you get used to it, it's so much more efficient because you're streaming on multiple platforms on the same time. It's efficient, you're saving time. And then shout out to Restream if you're watching and you want to sponsor my conference or sponsor my podcast episode. I do use Restream. I'll drop my Restream affiliate link later. But Restream chops up my content after I go live, and then I can repurpose that into short form content. Okay. So visibility becomes strategic and it's not just random. So that's one big thing. The other thing, number three, the biggest transformation is a lot of nurses went from that employee mindset of employee thinking to now thinking more like a business and having that growth mindset. Okay. And I believe I also cover that in the book, right? Nurses making money moves. I talk about growth mindset and all that stuff. Okay. And also value based pricing. Stop with the hourly pricing. If you're in business, don't do that. That's one of the worst things that you could do, right? So not only are you learning finance, you know, tactics, financial literacy, you're understanding business basics, and you can literally have the opportunity to ask questions at the conference in person to people doing these things. There are people that have built six-figure businesses and seven-figure businesses that will be speaking at this conference. I have individuals like shout out to Trish Lindo. She used to work for Oprah for content creation. She used to work for LinkedIn for content creation, and so many other businesses. So I'm telling you, there are some powerhouse speakers that are coming through. So you don't want to miss this conference. Okay. Nurses Making Business Moves. Go get your tickets at nursesmakingbusinessmoves.com. Number four, many nurses have a lot of experience, right? Lived experience, professional clinical experience, but you can't just have the experience and the certifications and the degrees. You need to learn how to leverage that and start positioning yourself for success. Okay? Start articulating your value in a way that people understand the problem you solve, the transformation you create, and your unique value proposition, right? What do you bring to the marketplace? And really, visibility also is the new resume. Um, and really strategic partnerships, being in these networking events and things like that will take your career a lot further than you just heads down working because no one's paying attention. You have to position yourself for success and be very strategic in how you move. And this is why I called it Nurses Making Business Moves. Okay. Down to even negotiating your salary, asking for promotions, all those things. Okay. And then number 5, what you will realize once you start a business or you want to grow your business or even in your nursing career, you can't do it alone. You need some guidance, you need a team, you need a coach or a mentor, you need a community of people that will guide you. And you don't have to do it alone. For a long time, I used to think I had to do everything on my own, especially with nurses, being an ER nurse. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I got it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it all. And entrepreneurship, it doesn't work that way. You have to start slowly building out your team. And being in community in these powerful rooms, like the spaces that I'm building in my events for nurses making business moves, and also newly the inner circle, where I'm creating these um, wonderful dinner and luncheon networking events. I'm keeping it to about 12 to 15 people. Um, and I'll be in DC. So if you're in the DC area, the DMV area, definitely shout out to me if you're interested. I do have a couple of seats left for this next one. It'll be in downtown DC, February 13th. So let me know if you're interested. But yeah, you can't do it alone. And the biggest advice that I have and that we talk about at this conference is you have to get out of your shell, comfort zone, and be in different spaces. I go to business conferences all the time, um, and I encourage you to do the same. And of course, come to my conference. It's going to be lit. And honestly, the transformations are unbelievable. Just the pure growth and progress that I've seen these attendees go through is amazing and it's very rewarding. And, I talked to some of my friends even earlier today. I was talking to someone, we talk about business all the time. And I was just telling her, like, this conference is not easy to put on. It's definitely a lot of work. Um, and the first conference that I did, it was just me really on my own putting it on. And it's mainly me for this second one, but I did hire, some kind of contractors to do a couple things here and there. But it's a massive amount of work, but it's worth it. Right. And I'm creating this momentum and this movement with all these transformations, these real stories that are being changed, their lives are being changed. So, I really don't want to give up on this. My true passion too is helping new graduate nurses, but I also enjoy helping nurses in business as well. And really, my vision is to have this be, the number one business conference for nurses and healthcare professionals. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Like I said, business cannot be built in isolation. And for you to grow in your career or in your business, you need a community, you need coaches, you need to invest in yourself, and you need to be at networking events. This is why even, I'm going to be in DC for part of the ANA summit. It's important for me to try to get outside to some of these other conferences and summits, even though I do, still work part-time and have 2 kids and a family. It's not easy, right? But these are the things that you have to go through if you want to make that impact and you're serious about, you know, the vision, the purpose, and the impact that you want to make. And then when you see these nurses' lives being transformed and they're helping other people in their business, like I said, it's truly rewarding. Okay. So let me know. I'll stay on for another couple of minutes. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. For any new nurse that's watching, I have a free webinar tomorrow. Check out the link in my bio or go to nursejob.com. You can get signed up. You will get a Zoom link. For some reason, if you don't get that Zoom link, just message me on LinkedIn and I will provide you that link. And again, the link should be in the bio in TikTok, Instagram, and also LinkedIn. Okay. So this is for any new nurse that's looking to get hired faster into their dream role. You can come to this free training that I specifically designed for new nurses like you. And again, if you're just joining me, my name is Dr. Farah Laurent. I've helped over 200 new nurses land their dream role. And that's why I created this free webinar. And of course, for anyone that is interested in attending the conference for growth in your career or in your business, and again, you don't have to have a business to come. You can have a business idea, or you can just come just to learn about how to pitch yourself, how to be more confident when you're asking for that raise or asking for that promotion or whatever it is that you're trying to do. These are skills that you will take home for life. You have to start stacking up your skills. And it goes way beyond just nursing knowledge, psychomotor skills. These are skills like business skills, sales, pitching, marketing, that it's not just important in business, but also in your regular life. You can, they're all transferable skills that you can use. Okay. Wow. I've been talking a lot. I've been talking for like 40 minutes. So let me know if you are interested in going to the conference. DM me right now on LinkedIn. And I will send you that special link. If you do have a buddy to go with, it'll be a discounted link. Put business bestie and DM me on LinkedIn, business bestie. Just direct message me on there on LinkedIn and then say, I want the link or whatever, business bestie, and I will give you the link so that you and your friend can book at the same time with that discounted rate. And again, the conference is in Tampa, Florida, at the University of Tampa in their entrepreneurship center. And for anybody that's out in the cold currently, Tampa has some good weather in March. And again, it's about 30 days away. No excuses. If you're feeling stuck, feeling anxiety, feeling, fearful, uncertain about your future, this is the space to be in. Okay. It's difficult sometimes to navigate your career. You're not really sure what the next step is. You're not sure if you should go back to school and get an NP or, get a master's or get a doctorate or get another certification. Think about what you really want. Sometimes it's not about getting more things. And I know I'm guilty of this in nursing. I was like, well, I just need that next degree. And then if I get my next degree, that master's degree or that doctorate, I'm going to make more money. I'm going to spend more time with the kids or be able to have more freedom or whatever. You really have to think about what it is that is important to you right now. And sometimes it's not always necessarily always adding more. Sometimes you need to remove some things. Sometimes you need to remove some things from your life or people, or spend a little less time with certain people and be surrounded with people who are positive, people who are driven, people who are visionaries that'll help you move to their next phase, people that will help direct you into what impact and purpose that you want to make. Because we're all, thinking, hey, I want to do something more, but I just don't know what to do or how to do it. So you don't have to figure it out alone. Like I said, you could be a nursing student and you're like, you know what? I don't really like the hospital setting. And I don't really know what type of nurse I want to be, right? There's aesthetic nursing, community nursing. You can start your own business or maybe a tutoring thing. education. This conference will spark so many ideas, opportunities, and you can leave with your next opportunity. One connection can literally change your life, your career, or your business. So, this is the space for you. Like I said, if you're feeling stuck, not sure what to do next, um, this conference will give you a lot of clarity and it will inspire you into action, to take action. So, bet on yourself, invest in yourself and in your growth, and hope to see you in Tampa, March 6th and 7th. And for you to get the tickets, go to nursesmakingbusinessmoves.com and then convince your friends to come. Make it a girls' trip or whatever you want to do, right? And again, all are welcome. You don't have to be a nurse to attend. Everybody is welcome. Just go get your ticket. And if you have a business bestie or, just a best friend you want to come with, put business bestie on LinkedIn and just DM me and I will send you the special um, link so you can get your tickets. All right. I'm already tired from talking so much. But I hope that this gave you value. Let me know if you have any comments or questions before I wrap it up. And if you're watching the replay, same thing. Drop any comments or questions that you have. And if you have a specific business question or anything related to your career, let me know. And I'll try my best to answer it or create some content around it. Okay? I will see you guys next time. I definitely will go live tomorrow again. So I'll see you soon. All right, take care. Bye. Have a good one. Get your tickets before they sell out. Last day is Valentine's Day, or if they sell out, that's it. Don't say I didn't tell you so. Get your tickets and then convince your friends to come. And all my Florida people, where are you at? Let's go. Get some tickets. Orlando, Miami, Tampa. Let's go. All right. Talk to y'all soon.